2,800 people have tested positive. Out of 100 counties in our state, only 11 have no confirmed cases of COVID-19. So far, 34 people have died. Men make up 70% of the victims, and in our viewing area, 13 people have died, including the first death in Davidson County reported today. Health officials say someone in their late 80s died from the virus. That person had underlying health conditions. 373 people have tested positive in our viewing area. Guilford County has now topped 100 cases. Forsyth County is not too far behind that at 99 cases. Davidson County is reporting 6 new cases for a total of 63. Randolph and Davie are both reporting 4 new cases, and Stokes County now has 8 cases. This afternoon, state officials held a briefing on COVID-19. They talked about a lot of things, including face coverings. Dr. Manny Cohen with DHHS says they can play a role in controlling the spread if they're used properly, along with good hand washing and wiping down surfaces.
If used incorrectly, face coverings can expose someone to more germs rather than less. The very best evidence on reducing the spread of the virus is to social distance and stay home.
A lot of people want to know when this virus is going to peak in our state and how big of an impact it's going to have on us. Well, today a group of scientists used 3 models to forecast our future. And as Bill O'Neill explains, without social distancing, the numbers could be overwhelming.
Like a weather forecast, these predictions do not provide an absolute outcome. Rather, it's the likelihood of what's to come. The prediction, 250,000 people in our state could become infected with the virus by the end of May. That's if social distancing policies are extended through May. However, if the governor's stay-at-home order doesn't continue past April, the forecast is for that number to triple to 750,000 potential infections. The study did not look at the potential number of deaths. Dr. Mark Holmes of Chapel Hill says, quote, "This tripling is the source of major stress on the hospitals that manifest in the increase in probability from 20% to 50%. And that's the probability that demand would exceed available supply." Scientists from Duke, UNC, Chapel Hill, and the private sector say if the stay-at-home order remains in place, they estimate a 1 in 4 chance that North Carolina will not have the hospital beds needed to meet the growing demand of COVID-19. But note that the odds double to a 1 in 2 chance if those policies are lifted. The scientists also noted the importance of convincing the public of the need for social distancing. Recent cell phone data on location shows North Carolina not doing as well as other states in people keeping their distance from one another.
The policies are just one part of it. Adoption and practice of communities of people that really matter. So policy is one piece of it, but getting the buy-in and adoption and practice of the communities is a very important component.
The scientists say that the peak for the virus is likely mid to late May, but they also add that the models disagree and that the timing could even be June or possibly July. In Greensboro, I'm Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.
Thank you, Bill. New at 6, the state's Division of Prisons will not accept inmates from county jails for 2 weeks starting tomorrow. It is also reducing transfers of inmates within the prison system. This is part of an effort to keep COVID-19 from spreading behind bars. The state will still admit offenders sentenced to state prison and who don't have COVID-19 systems. New information now on a story that had a lot of you calling and writing into our newsroom offering to help. It's about that Winston-Salem doctor who had his pickup truck stolen from his driveway right before he started one of his shifts. Our Kenny Beck brought us that story last week. He joins us now with an update. Kenny?
Oh, Brianna, good evening to you. Happy to report Dr. Chris Grimes got his truck back, and he got it back a little more than 24 hours after our story aired the middle of last week.
It's the truck caper that captured the Triad's heart. March 21st, Dr. Chris Grimes woke up for his Saturday morning shift as an orthopedic surgeon resident at Wake Forest Baptist Health, only to find his truck missing, a black 2002 Ford F-250. The theft left him with just one family car to share with his wife and their 3 small children. It also meant most days they had to ride home from the hospital together at the end of his shift, potentially exposing his family to COVID-19. Our story aired Wednesday, April 1st. and within minutes we were inundated with emails and Facebook posts like this. Kenny, I have a truck to loan to Dr. Grimes, or I would be very willing to take the doctor to and from work. Even this one from the assignment desk at WXII. So many people called today willing to help. I'm sending you a list. The Grimes family felt the love too, from strangers and a neighbor.
I probably had 30 emails waiting for me at work, and I even had pages come in over my pager at work of people wanting to get in touch with me just to lend me their extra vehicles. It was absolutely amazing.
But the story gets even better. Thursday night, Chris got an unexpected phone call.
I got a phone call from the police department saying they had located my truck, that a concerned citizen had called in.
His wife, Brittany Grimes, says the truck was found tucked away at an apartment complex, a little dinged up, but still drivable. It is now back in their possession.
I was really surprised, not just at the speed at which the news story calls somebody to call in, but just from the sheer fact that it was found in one piece. We feel a little bit better than we did before, just knowing that everybody there is willing to help somebody in need. The community itself just came together and just wrapped their arms around me and my family. The well wishes and the prayers and the words of kindness and just generous offerings that everybody just laid on my family, and it was absolutely wonderful.
Well, we could use some stories like that right now, couldn't we? Dr. Grimes says he has taken his car out for a spin just around the block to make sure everything was good. He hasn't driven it to work yet because a neighbor has been letting him borrow his truck to get back and forth. He told me he wanted to clean that truck up very nice before he gave it back to his neighbor. Brianna, I did reach out to the Winston-Salem Police Department today to see if anyone's been arrested as a result of all of this. I have not heard back from anyone yet.